we're delighted this year to present 29 outstanding new Canadian documentaries from across the country. 17 feature-length films, 4 mid-length, and 8 shorts. All are Toronto premieres, and 14 are world premieres. Along with Michelle Latimer, our assistant programmer, we viewed over 300 submissions. And once again, we saw far more excellent work than we could ever program in one festival. Am I too close to the mic?
Canadian documentaries came out fighting this year. High kicks and low blows are delivered in surprising stories from all corners of the globe, including a Thai boxing camp for migrant children on the Burmese border in Fist of Pride, to the boxing girls of Kabul, where we follow teen girls who risk their lives to train for the London Olympics. In Buzkashi, we travel to the remote hills of Tajikistan, where horse riders compete in death-defying matches.
And here at home in Canada, combat sports will also hit the big screen big time. Kung Fu and hockey frame two profoundly personal stories. Legend of a Warrior follows a son from Edmonton to Hong Kong as he fights to be worthy of his father, who just happens to be a Chinese grandmaster of Kung Fu. And in Theo Fleury, Playing with Fire, the film uncovers the shocking and profound journey of one of Canada's most successful and controversial hockey players, and who is taking his game to a whole new level. And I think that Coach Graham being sentenced today is kind of an omen for seeing this film.
This year also witnesses a clash between cultures and generations. Beauty queens in Bombay contrast with rural girls training at a women's religious militant camp in the world before her. And shining a light on extraordinary activists from immigrant communities in 3 countries, Crimes Without Honor speaks out against violent acts relating to family honor, so recently highlighted here in the tragic Shafia murders. And an insider look at the tobacco industry from the Mohawk point of view takes us behind the scenes in Smoke Traders, where a turf war is being waged between the federal government and First Nations.
And when a young artist asks a prisoner, a member of the Black Panthers who has been held in solitary in a tiny cell for over 30 years now, to imagine his dream house, the extraordinary result is chronicled in Herman's House. Underlining the power of verite filmmaking, The Bastard Sings the Sweetest Song transports us into a family's chaotic life in Guyana to witness a son lock up his alcoholic mom in an effort to protect her.
And one of Canada's most successful, mysterious, and best-selling authors, who's not Margaret Atwood, receives stunning biographic treatment in The Mystery of Maison de la Roche. And from more recent history, Toronto's queer art punk scene comes to life in vivid Super 8 in She Said Boom, the story of the Fifth Column.
And if that's not enough for you, we have a fascinating doc about the world's only phallological museum in Iceland and its founder's search for a human penis to complete the collection in the final member.
I did not take part in that documentary, but I do want to let you know there are many more extraordinary films in the festival than we're able to mention in these brief highlights. We hope you'll join us in celebrating the outstanding talent demonstrated by Canadian documentarians, and we'd like to thank TVO for their generous support of Canadian Spectrum.
He did want to audition for that film, though. And speaking of outstanding talent, this year Hot Docs is more than delighted to pay tribute to the extraordinary, passionate, and committed filmmaker John Kastner in our Focus on Retrospective program. Since 1974, he's made over 30 documentaries that have been nominated for and won countless awards, Emmys, Genies, and top honors at festivals around the world. His documentaries range, in his own words, from the very dark to the very dippy. And he's been described as a documentary Billy Wilder. And we have a few clips from the films that we'll be screening in the retrospective.
Two sisters, lifelong rivals, face life apart.
God, you look better than I do.
One fights to get into a senior's home.
Nobody has fun in a nursing home. We'll have to change.
The other fights to get out of hers.
And I said, go ahead, hit me. And I said, the next thing, you're going to be on the floor.
God, maybe they'll put me me with one of the soldiers.
Bunny and Leona, their lives come apart, their rivalry lives on.
Good evening, I'm Milton Mack.
As you know, a lot of people in New York are talking about what is probably the most controversial new hostess on television. I'm talking, of course, about Norton Lash. They say that her language is so explicit, the subject matter is so explicit, a lot of people find it very offensive. And what side of the fence are you on about Norton Lash?
Well, I personally find her offensive, similar too. I don't think there's any need for that type of language.
Do you think that kids should be watching Norton Lash?
Absolutely not.
No.
Not kids, no. I mean, it's just too raw for them. I mean, you don't need that kind of rawness that early in life.
How would you rate Norton Lash? Do you find that raunchier than Howard Stern or Jerry Springer? Well, how would you rate her?
I think she's a little raunchier, which is good. I think sometimes it's good to get your point through. You have to be a little raunchier.
Please welcome John Kastner to the stage.
Cheesy way of getting your name in lights. Thank you so much to Hot Docs and to the National Film Board for this incredible honor. It's been an amazing year for me. You know, the Donald Britton Award, the International Emmy, and now this. Oh my goodness, golly gosh. I've been making documentaries for over 35 years, so it was a pleasant surprise to learn that this is a mid-career retrospective. It has always been my ambition to be the Methuselah of the Canadian movie-making scene. There's a Monty Python skit, Why Accountancy is Not Boring, and I think the overriding theme of my documentaries is to show that Canadians are not boring, although a lot of people say that they are. Some people say that we have perhaps the worst personalities for interviews. We are unemotional and low-key and excessively polite and self-effacing. I think it's far easier to get great interviews in London and New York City. And I've kind of made a career out of showing that there is great drama in the lives of ordinary Canadians. About 95% of my serious documentaries have been shot in Canada, mostly in southern Ontario. Certainly sometimes it has not been an easy task to get magnificent interview material from Canadians. You have to really dig deep to get it, you know. You have to work twice as hard, I think, as many of our international colleagues do to get wonderful interview material. But as a resource-based economy, we Canadians are used to digging, and I sort of think of myself as the Alberta tar sands of documentary making. There's a particular challenge, by the way, in my newest documentary. I'm filming something called NCR, Not Criminally Responsible. It's a film about mental patients who commit violent crimes, what used to be called the criminally insane, no longer a term that we use. And these people are Canadian criminally insane people. They are not only unemotional, I shouldn't actually use that term, they are not only unemotional and low-key and so on, but they're heavily medicated, so this is proving to be a particular challenge. I'm so pleased to be here. I hope you get a chance to look at the films, and I thank Hot Docs and the National Film Board and my colleagues here for this wonderful, wonderful honor. Thank you so much.